Supreme Rice. Since the 1930s, supporting Louisiana farmers and communities throughout Louisiana. To find out more, go to supremerice.com. At lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kitch is back in the studio. We got the Vegas contingent coming in today. Colucci with us, Randy McKay with us, Matt Humans with us, which means we can. You know what we're going to do today, Jimmy?
What?
That is really exciting to me is we're going to talk about games and not abdomens. We've been talking about abdomens, torsos, obliques for about 3 days now. And it had to be done, and it was necessary. But with LSU off this weekend, practice today, a few days off, and then get into the South Carolina, we can talk about the rest of the games and let everybody's abdomens heal as best they can between now and, say, Monday. What say you?
I think it's a lot of excuse searching, because things, have, been a little bit off. But I mean, Matt, we're leaving the show one time, and Max says, "Is this whole season just dependent on this offensive line?" I'm like, a big kind of, it's a big part.
It's a huge part
because this was during August where they're getting whooped consistently.
Yeah.
And what did we say? When you go to your spring game, that's great offensive play, but that was a bad defensive play.
Right.
So the defense is whooping the offense every day. Man, they're really good. They're much better. But what's going on with the offense? When you got a guy that can do it, he can do it.
How much better are they? The defensive improvement we didn't know in August. Now that we've seen it, looks pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of you lost to a team that their previous conference game against Arkansas, they just fired their coach. And I think that was a call from above. I don't think Petrino fired those defensive assistants. I think they said, hey, you're our interim, and you got to clean house. That's the way it usually goes. Petrino, I don't know for sure. He may have. But usually that's done from a top. Okay? But they were 25 yards away from beating the team you just lost to. The team that just fired their coach, 4 or 5 games into the year.
Yeah.
LSU's not good right now. I mean, the defense is good, but you can only do so much.
Right. And Kentucky was right there with Ole Miss, too. I know that game was in Lexington.
That was in Lexington.
But
this is what these two teams – this team was number 3 or 4 in the country, and we were wrong. We thought they were one of the best, top 5 for sure coming out the Clemson game. Clemson was overrated.
Yep.
Okay, but we're at fault too, because man, that got my juices going. We did the show on that Labor Day from Iverstein Farms Butcher, and we went and ate lunch after, all of us, because it's kind of a we got all
a holiday, yeah.
Yeah, and they were just the butcher shop was just open there that day on a holiday. I'm like, man, it's been a long time since I've been this excited for an LSU game watching it. I was jacked. I mean, they looked great against Clemson. But Clemson's not that good. Clemson's that top 10 preseason team that's going to finish unranked, So it's just – and even after the Georgia Tech game, you lose on the road at the gun against a good team.
They're still undefeated.
But, man, to get drilled by Syracuse –
that was an eye-opener.
They needed a 2-point conversion stop to stay undefeated at Wake Forest. So Georgia Tech's going to be that unranked team to finish in the top 10. You got to have one of those, and they escaped on Saturday.
They did on the 2-point conversion.
Those quarterback rankings were good, Charlie. Yesterday, by the way.
I
don't know who put them out. I thought I think it was a little extreme with Aller, because one play that he has nothing to do with. So they take the lead in the first overtime. So Oregon's got the ball. They need to tie it. They're down 7. And they run the read option. And the ball's on the ground. It was miscue between, I forget the guy's name all the time, the transfer from Houston, the quarterback for Oregon.
Oh, Dante Moore.
Dante Moore. The ball's on the ground. if Penn State falls on it, where's that guy's ranking? He had nothing to do with that play.
He didn't. You're right.
Where's his ranking?
20 points higher,
At least,
or more,
because he doesn't throw the pick.
Yeah, the interception.
So
the interception is the one play. If you ask anybody, what play have you seen Drew Aller make this year? They're going to say, we saw the interception. Nobody watched any of the first 3 games that they had. And if you're going back to watch, if you didn't watch the game live itself, you only go back and they pick up the highlights in the fourth quarter. They're not going to have a whole lot of highlights. It was 3-3, okay? Mm-hmm. So what do you watch? You're watching the one drive that they put together, and then you had the one big play, and then you're watching the interception. That's if you've only seen one play of Drew Aller the whole year, you probably saw the interception.
Well, no,
that's not necessarily fair, but
everybody saw it. But he's there. I watched that game again on Monday, and I saw 2 playoff teams. I think those are 2 good teams. Penn State's they should get dinged up for that schedule. That's pitiful.
Right.
I mean, that's pitiful. It's embarrassing, flat out. But they're right there. I mean, that was a good game. Penn State's yardage all came late. But I tell you what, that is not our dad's Oregon. They're so much more physical than it. And Lanning was talking. Coaches talk game all the time. Talk a big game. No, he's done it. He's done it with the help. They got player budget.
They have resources,
if not better than anybody. Okay, but those yards were hard for Penn State. It's not just on Aller. There wasn't a whole lot of separation. There wasn't a whole lot of push. Those yards were hard against Oregon in that game.
Let me get back to something you were saying about being excited the Monday after Clemson. And, yes, Clemson was horribly overrated. Let's talk about a couple things that LSU did in that game that I don't think they can do now, a month later, okay? Let's start with the run game, okay, because that's where I think the biggest question marks were coming in. They ran for over 100. They ran for 108 yards exactly against Clemson. That is not a world-beating total, but it's more than twice as many as you ran against this week. And I think Clemson's defense.
There's no comparison. The rush defense between Clemson is overrated as they are.
They're still better than Ole Miss's rush
Absolutely.
defense. Okay,
yeah.
So you rushed for more than twice as many yards. And I realize Durham played in that game. Okay. You can't rush for what you rushed for against Clemson against a far inferior rush defense a month later. Let's talk about the pass game. The biggest play in that game was the one that should have been but wasn't, was the pass to Barry and Brown. That was about 40 yards in the air, and it was on the money, okay? They ruled it out. Nussmeier
it was a big-time throw.
Yes, it was.
A big-time throw and catch.
And right now, Nussmeier can't make that throw. Okay, for whatever reason, he can't.
Right. It doesn't. Okay? It doesn't seem that way. That was a beautiful throw.
Yes,
downfield.
And he had, step into it, the whole deal. He had another long pass to Aaron Anderson, but it wasn't in the air nearly as long. It went for about 40 yards, but it was only in the air about half that. Okay, so they can't do that. When we left that, and the defense is good. Okay, Harold Perkins makes the play to shut the game down. We didn't see Harold Perkins make play 1 on Saturday, but the defense is still good.
Lane Kiffin's trying to stay away from him, too.
As he should.
As he should. I mean, he's the guy that told us 2 years ago, well, what happened? Y'all were up 14-0 or 17? Oh, they started playing 40 more.
Yeah.
I mean.
And I'll give you an exact example that we picked up in film study was they flooded Perkins' side of the field on that play in the red zone inside the 10, and they got it. He's got the opportunity to blitz. He's got a green dog, but they put a man in motion over there, and he doesn't pick him up. So they're outnumbered, and they took advantage of his aggression. He was going to come up the field, and they got him outnumbered in the flats, and there's nobody left to cover the other guy. Did he know exactly where Perkins was going to be? I don't know, but he got him in a bad defense. But my point is, they did things in that Clemson game that you figured, well, they're going to build on that. The rushing game will get better. It's gotten worse. Nussmeier will be at least as good or better. He's gotten worse. The defense, I think, is still very good, but they gave up 230 yards that night and 580 yards to Ole Miss. Is Ole Miss's offense twice as good as Clemson's?
Their play designer is
okay.
A lot more than that.
And you're talking about – and if we had this conversation that day when we went to lunch, Labor Day, And I had told you, you know what? By the time they get to Ole Miss, they're going to be the starting quarterback's going to be hurt, and they're going to put in this kid from Ferris State who nobody's ever heard of, who turns out is a really good player, but we didn't know that at the time. So when I tell you, hey, look, the season's not over because of one loss. Things can change a great deal in a month. Think about how much things have changed in the last month for LSU.
What did we say that week? Why everybody's so it's because you got a chance to be good. But August football is not November football. It wasn't even September football. I mean,
wasn't October football.
Who's Clemson's offensive coordinator? At least you know where it came from, huh?
Who is Clemson's offensive coordinator?
Surprise participant in the national championship game recently.
Who the hell is the Clemson's offensive coordinator? I've already forgotten.
What's this? These two little fingers. What's that?
Hook 'em horns? No.
No, dude, this is Hook 'em horns.
Okay.
What is this?
I don't know. That's how you throw a knuckleball.
You just watch a 2-1 team. Come on, man.
I don't know who the
Horned
offensive
Frogs, bro. Garrett Riley came from TCU after they had their appearance.
I had already forgotten.
You don't know what that is?
Yeah, I know what that is.
Come on, Charlie.
Sorry. Sorry. Didn't get the reference.
You've never seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay. All right. That's not Hook 'em horns.
That's Hook 'em. I know what Hook 'em horns is. I don't.
You know what horns down is, huh?
I do. It's what you used to get the 15-yard penalty for in the Big 12.
The same team, and we can't connect the dots, but the same team who fired their coach was 25 yards away. Second down, they turned the ball over. Going in. It's 41-36. They're going in. The first play after the 2-minute timeout, as we're proper here, instead of 2-minute warning, and they turn it over. And that team, wow. Taylor Green's really good. They're Arkansas's offense, when he's rolling, they're good now. But you saw a guy he identified a guy like Kiffin. And we talk about what makes him such a respected play caller, play design, sequencing, matchups, and how many quarterbacks have come through that system and look great. We don't know is Jackson Dart going to be the first one that's worth a damn in the NFL? We don't know. Threw for 100 yards. Now he doesn't have his best weapon. He can't be that good, and I'm not going to kill him because he doesn't have Malik Neighbors, and they got limited offensive options. But I could see in one game that this kid Chambliss was better. Please play Simmons. No, this kid was better.
And Kiffin, I think one of his biggest attributes is his ability to adjust. He's adjusted his speed at times. And the analytics where last year, if it was fourth and anything less than it seemed like 12, they were going for it. They haven't been that way this year. Now, maybe they haven't needed to, but they have changed at least some of their analytical approaches to situations.
You notice they're one of the leaders in snaps per game, but it's not that hyperspeed.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He's changed it.
So he told you, he's the first one to appreciate Perkins. He's the first one. More so than the LSU staff that day. I mean, what are y'all doing, basically? Yeah. I mean, paraphrase, what the hell are y'all doing keeping this guy out the game as much as y'all are?
Please take him out the game.
Yeah, okay. So what's he doing if Perkins rushes? He's got a man free, right? So it's an easy read.
Yeah.
That's coaching for your quarterback. And what if he covers? Well, that's where I want him anyway.
Yeah.
So, so that's a classic case. And you saw the all-22, but it sounds like that's what you're describing
this particular
on that
play. Yeah.
So that's a very easy read for his quarterback.
Yeah, LSU doesn't adjust to it, and they've got him outnumbered on that side.
So Ohio State against Washington, they had a third in like 15 or 17, and it was about the 25-yard line. So what do they do for their young quarterback in the first game? Jeremiah Smith, all right, but he's going to run a shallow cross. The other guys, he's on the left, kind of left, right slot, two wides to the left. They go down, and they just time it, but they're nothing but blockers.
No, wait, which Ohio State game were we talking about now?
Washington, Saturday. Okay. Third and 15 or so, right around 25-yard line. It's a one route pattern. I'm not going to ask this kid to try and make reads and progressions and things like this in this situation where this is such a tough spot on the road in Washington. That place was jumping. Little Charlotte Crest, the other guys are blocking. I mean, he all but walks in to the end zone, executed perfectly. When they went light in the box on 3rd and goal for the 17, Washington goes light in the box. What do? Well, they run the ball.
Probably run the ball.
Because we're ahead, and we're just not – I don't want my young quarterback to throw into coverage, force it into when trying to make a play. He gets 16 yards down to the 1-yard line. So then on 4th and goal, what do? Well, we're going to – a little semi-roll to the right. The back's out. It's a one person route, one receiver route. And just kind of, but when I saw them run the ball in 3rd and 17, I'm like, oh, yeah. This Charlie wants to see this. That's what you do
against that lighter box. Yeah,
that's what you do
against that lighter box.
And I think that's the biggest solution for LSU moving forward. They have to run the ball in the light box.
If you can't run it into those boxes, you'll never run it. And it's as plain as day.
Yeah, we're over here at Sammy's Grill, the original sponsor, Charlie. 30-something years ago, doing it over here, man. And the Stabler and Fritzy and Dane and and Kevin Kimball, all the crew, man, they took it over. And I love coming over here and getting a cold beer, eating some boiled seafood. Love when it's crawfish season. I like crabs a lot too. So they're doing the boiled crabs over here, doing the char grilled crabs. On Monday nights as well. Monday and Thursday night football specials we got over here on draft and wings, but also college night. College night on Wednesday night, $5 burgers. $5 burgers on college night. That's every Wednesday. $5 pitchers of Ultra and Bud Light Draft. Huh?
Nice.
That's kind of like you still got your college ID?
Burgers and beers. Yeah, but it doesn't look like me anymore.
Can I get EJ's? Huh? Can I get over there?
Just a razor blade and tape your picture.
I got intramurals. I used to take an elective, to still play intramurals in my 30s. Maybe I could do that, huh?
You did not.
I did.
Okay.
I did. That's how I know those Hoshes.
Okay. I thought you might have been recruiting for your tennis team or something.
No, that was later in life. Okay. This is actually,
I'm losing my timeline.
Yeah, but college night over here at Sammy's Grill, and, man, it's a great place, a nice meeting place on your way to campus for the games, during the games if you leave at halftime or something like that, because we got the games on here. So you can sit on the restaurant side, more family style, or, get a little rowdier over here and get a little bit louder with the music and with the games here on the bar side. So Sammy's Grill on Highland near Starring.
Live at Sammy's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Sammy's Grill on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We got 3-game threes in MLB today. I understand we're in the middle of football season, but yesterday was entertaining. I mean, if you like,
today will be even better.
Today's even better because you got 3-game threes. You had a tight game with Detroit and Cleveland. Cleveland broke it open in the 8th.
Push the total.
Push the total. Okay, I didn't have it. I had it on day one. Second game. To pitch to Manny or not to pitch to Manny, and he makes them pay. And in the third game, which was
it's a 1-run game.
No, to change pitchers, not to walk him or not to.
They were changing pitchers. There was an opener day for the Cubs.
Exactly. So, do they want to go to the right-hander in the bullpen to go to him, or do they leave the lefty in to pitch to him? They left the lefty in to pitch to him.
Gotcha.
And he hits the ball out of the park.
In the playoffs in the NBA, you got guys that get their shots off freely that can't get their shots off.
Yeah.
The same thing with hitters. There are some, and look, and a lot is with small sample size, kind of we overreact. Barry Bonds was not a good hitter in the postseason. That doesn't mean he couldn't. But I see guys like Machado can hit playoff level pitching. The pitching is tougher.
Sure.
It's tougher. You got a guy struggling, he's out. We're not going to try and let him work through it because we don't want to kill our bullpen and of a 162-game schedule. It's just tougher. And I think the pitchers get a little bit more amped. I mean, Scooter doesn't throw 100 as much as he was doing.
You're not trying to pace yourself at all.
Right.
And a guy like Machado,
he can hit playoff pitching.
He can, but in a game like that, they're going to pitch him even more carefully than they would in a regular season. He might get one pitch a game. I mean, one really good pitch a game.
Charlie, he's got protection in that lineup. That lineup, for some reason, is way better on paper than it is in actually the game.
But you'll agree that you're going to see far less. They're going to pay way more attention to him. He's going to see way less pitches to hit in a playoff game than he would in a regular season game. And if you get one, you better not miss it.
I'm going to pull up Tatis, Merrill, and these guys are these. It's not like he doesn't have anything behind him.
No, you're gonna be careful, and he hits the ball out of the park. But the most fun I had was with the Yankees and the Red Sox yesterday. A tight Yankee-Red Sox game, playoff game, and you get down to
facing elimination, Yankee Stadium.
The Red Sox end up hitting two balls to the warning track, but Jazz is on his horse, huh? One day after the benching, he comes around. I mean, it's 3-2, so he's running with the pitch. But it's still on a base hit.
What is the hitter doing staying at first base on that play? What is he thinking?
Yeah, because the ball comes all the way into the plate.
It's going to be bang, bang at the plate. It cost we go from a small loser from a big winner to a small loser because he's not in fundamentals. You gladly get thrown out at second if they're going to. It's bang bang for the tie. I mean, to get the win and run with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. They're worried about him. They're not worried about you going from first to second.
No, the play's coming.
So
to the
what
plate.
happens? The guy gets a single.
No, next
and he scores.
It costs you the insurance run.
So minus 1.5 with the Dodgers minus 1.5 parlay. That was the difference. How about over 7.5? It fell 7 because this dumbass is sitting on first base. He was watching. It was a bang bang play. He got a great seat.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
No, he's got.
And I'm not talking about the Fernando running back to the end zone on the last play trick. No, you can't be as a gambler. But that's a game-winning pick. That is a part of the play. You want a 1-run lead or 2-run lead?
2-run lead. That is a massive difference. And you're right. And the ball, look, the ball caroms back, but there's no way they're ever doing anything but throwing to the plate there, and he's got to go. I agree with you
100%.
Unbelievable.
But
Chisholm, who got benched the day before, and we're talking about a guy with 30 bombs, okay? They benched him for the matchup, so he's there.
What's he against lefties?
100 points lower than the guy that they. That was the right move.
Do you think he's going to have a lot of success against Crochet?
It was the right move. And he's running with the pitch. It's 3-2. But look, ain't like he scored standing up.
This is the fourth. It's bang bang, and his speed was
Sure.
the difference, and he had a jump on it. It was 2 outs. He's not scoring with 1 out on that play. Mm-hmm. But here's the same guy, Charlie. Okay, a pop up, less than 2 outs. He's at first base. A routine pop up to second. He's in between first and second. It gets doubled off. I'm sorry. Boone may have backed him there, but that's in your mind. Well, what the hell is this guy thinking when you're playing for keeps?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Jazz Chisholm is a great talent, but Jazz Chisholm was run out of Miami. They didn't like him. He's and act like a child. No, man, I'm not looking for Jazz Chisholm apologists and saying because he gets a laugh out the media and he tells them he played Xbox and he mercy ruled somebody. They got him a laugh. No, dude, I want you knowing how many outs there are. I don't want you being doubled up on a routine pop up in the infield. Sorry.
And
okay.
I got no argument with any of that. All I know is he scored from first on what ended up being a single last night.
Well,
and he had to hustle. That was exciting baseball to me.
It was.
The resume on Chisholm, I'm with you.
This is the 4th year that they've done it. So 3 years, 4 series, 12 series. How many have gone to the final third game?
Out of 12?
Out of 12 in the 3 years. 2. Okay?
Really
you got 3 this year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's unfair, but this is kind of like that. Now, it still can get in the College World Series if you split the first 2 in the championship series. But that winner take all, they don't have a whole lot of them. And so now we got 3 of them today, 2, 4, and 7. They stagger them a little late. So, but it's No, man. I mean, it's more amplified. It's memorable stuff. We still talk about the Bucky Dent, and Louis Tiant, Ron Guidry.
40-plus years later. Yeah. So, and you get this, and what I like about it, and we don't pay a ton of attention in September. We do, but not on the show necessarily. These games are all played in the same stadium. Okay, so your home field actually means something even more.
Your seating.
It's not just you get all three games at your place based on the seating.
Visitors have had pretty good success. Yeah,
I'd still rather play at home.
I know. I'm trying to think of the two games with how the home team did. Yeah. I can't remember.
I'd still rather play them at home.
Of course.
So we get Cleveland, Chicago, and New York all at home tonight. Starting at 2 o'clock.
Don't forget our friends at Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company. Servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service is what you get when you call 296-0060. Our great team, a long-standing staff at Legacy Title. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie, and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody choose but you. Choose Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Sammy's on Highland, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Yes, indeed. Colucci time as we continue here live from Sammy's Grill. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road, Highland near Starring, just 5-10 minute drive, toward campus. Before, during, and after LSU football games this season, of course, Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. Colucci, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well, gentlemen. How's Baton Rouge today?
It's been somber after the Ole Miss Rebels put it on us on Saturday. Somber, agitated, spicy. It's
nicked, steamed, pissed.
Yeah, a lot of. I mean, folks not happy, and we won the August National Championship. Okay, Labor Day weekend. Right. So kind of like the Saints last year, they won the first 2 weeks Lombardi Trophy. We won the national championship in August. So
we missed the parade though.
Yeah. So
that's tough. You got to run the table, and maybe you could make the playoffs. That's the whole key. You're definitely in a conference where if you do that, it's possible.
10-2 in the SEC or the Big Ten or Notre Dame, it's getting you in. 10-2 will get you
exactly.
in. So.
Here's one though for either one of you guys. With all of the parity that we've seen in the first month of the season, does a 9-3 team get in from anywhere?
We'll have to see.
Your best guess right now, yes or no?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
It's possible. I mean, it depends on the team, and it depends on the circumstances, Charlie.
Right.
Sometimes these guys just vote blindly, and, before you know it, they're in the playoffs, the team. And, it's just the marketability of a college and the name and the backing that could definitely get them in there. But I would tend to, agree with Jimmy, but anything is possible.
Well, you say that, Colucci, but, SMU got in ahead of Alabama last year.
And that's kind of why I'm asking, because this is supposed to be a different, the committee's supposed to be taking a little more.
Well, until they do it, we got to pay attention to what people do instead of what they say,
And that's why I'm asking now. It's like, well, do we think they're going to? I don't know either.
Until they do it, Penn State's going to schedule Villanova,
Nevada and Florida
International.
I know their schedule by heart now.
What about your boys Sunday night, huh? Boy, they killed. What do you do with the money line parlays on a push, huh?
We give them all back. That's what happens.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. Or if on the parlays, definitely if you have winners, it just regresses. Say you have 2 winners in, and you push the third, it goes down to a 2-teamer. So, that was a tough situation. It was a good game, though. I mean, Dallas showed up. Naturally, LaFleur, he did his own coaching thing, and this is why Green Bay will never win a Super Bowl with this guy as the coach. Another team that, like you said, getting back to your Saints last year, everybody was on the Green Bay and Charger bandwagon after the first couple of weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. And now look where you're at. You're looking at a 3-1 team, a 2-1-1 team, and it's just there's still the Chiefs to be dealt with. You have an up-and-coming team like the Rams that are playing very well, and naturally the Philadelphia Eagles. Their offense doesn't look all that great, but they're still the top team in the NFC. So Dallas had a good showing for the offense, I'll give you that, but especially without CD. But that defense is just horrible, guys. And, that's why you're going to see inflated totals as we move on with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, this week we're sitting steady at 47.5, at the opener. And, it's tough to gauge when you have a defense like that when they're going to give up points in bunches. So Dallas still has their back against the wall.
Charlie, I couldn't believe, and I talked about this earlier, about Green Bay running out of time. You just cannot run out of time in a 40-40 game. You gotta win it with your off, and their lack of urgency and slow approach to getting plays off. They had to kick it on third down. They ran out of time, and that's by them. LaFleur. Yeah, we need to learn from that. We did make some mistakes. We didn't go. I understand that the Dallas kicker Aubrey can hit it from that, but they can't stop you. I mean, you can't run out of time in an offensive dominated game.
And much like that, much like that LSU Auburn game years ago, one little bobble, one little this, one little that, and it's 0 on the clock, man.
Oh, yeah, at the end.
One little anything.
Yes. Oh, yes. I mean,
and Love didn't seem happy, guys. Jordan Love knew what was going on. I mean, he was definitely up in LaFleur's face. And LaFleur just had that blank look on again. And like you said, Jimmy, I mean, you're fearing the kicker because Aubrey could hit it from any place. Yet the defense hasn't shown they could stop you in any, facet of the game. So that was just terrible, terrible coaching. And it played into Dallas's lap. So, you get a tie out of it against a team that you were definitely supposed to lose to. The Parsons, and now it's starting to look like it isn't that bad of a maneuver for the Cowboys. I mean, this guy is not dominating games the way everybody thought when Dallas is putting up 40 points against Green Bay. So we'll see how this plays out moving forward. Green Bay is definitely a playoff team, but a couple of injuries here and there, and you never could tell. Look at the 49ers tonight. They're hobbling in. We're looking at the Rams, 8.5. Who would ever thought that? And, Brock Purdy, Bosa, Kittle, you have a triage list for the 49ers. And not that the drop-off is that tremendous, because I always preach to everybody, it's Mac Jones. He started for quite a few years, and he knows how to run an offense. But, this Rams, Nakua is just unbelievable. Maybe one of the top he is one of the top offensive players in the NFL. And to contain him with Devontae Adams, it's really going to be difficult as we sit at 8.5 at the Rampart and South Point. And that was a 3.5 opener, guys. And surprising to me, the total has dipped down 3 points. We opened it at 47. And now it is at 44, but I still think that the 49ers are capable to put up some points in this game.
This time last week, you can get the Rams at 3. Before San Francisco lost, before the Rams pulled out the hat, I thought they were very fortunate against the Colts and winning that game. I kind of get more respect out of the Colts in a loss than their previous 3 wins. But the Pearsall's out. The other receiver,
Juwan Johnson's out. Pearsall and Johnson
Bosa was already out.
Yeah, 9 targets and 6 catches in last week's game, plus Kittle. Okay, I mean that's 3 guys. Their leading receiver last week, even with those guys, was Christian McCaffrey. You think the Rams are going to know that?
Yeah, you got one guy to take away. You're right. You're right. But McCaffrey's going to see what Alvin Kamara is like and what the treatment he gets down there. Kaluch, has the money line parlays been hitting? Have they been hitting some of those in the NFL?
Yeah. We didn't do all that great last week. I got to be honest. We hobbled in, and Dallas basically saved us. So we had a positive weekend. But first and fourth weeks were very difficult for us at the Rampart and South Point. Not huge winning weeks. Sandwiched in between 2 good weeks. So a lot of people are sniffing out these teams very early on in the NFL season. A lot more of the sharp action is coming in and hitting and, jumping on these lines, like you said, when you could get a 3.5 or a 3 on the Rams, and now it's 8.5. What a huge middle, even if you just want to stay with the side, but you could always buy back with the 8.5 and maybe even getting up to 9 as I look at a 4-to-1 pick account on the Rams. It's definitely become more difficult for us as bookmakers. And, that's why we're putting up more and more props at the Rampart and South Point, team totals, stuff like that, to offset this handle on these teams, such as, Buffalo, Detroit. Detroit has been a covering machine for the last 3 years. Everybody knows that. And, they're 3-1 this season. They have another easy game this week. Cincinnati can't even move the ball. I mean, Browning is just terrible. Finally, Cleveland, made the decision to bench Joe Flacco. I mean, this game manager bullcrap is just out of control. I mean, the guy just can't throw over 20 yards. And you have a serviceable defense. You have to try different things. And no discredit to Joe Flacco. He's been in the league for this long. A throwback to Vince Evans, basically. But Evans had a better skill set, in my opinion, than Joe Flacco, who just throws it over the middle, 4 yards, 5 yards, constantly getting sacked. I think Cleveland is moving in the right direction, making this move. But, now you're trying and do this, going all the way over the pond and, playing in Europe against a team like Minnesota that's already been there. So this is a difficult week for the Browns. You have a lot of these lopsided matchups where the public is just pounding us on. And, yes, moneyline parlays are coming in as well as teasers.
Kaluch, where you getting a lot? Who are they playing this week? Are you getting a significant action for either college or pro?
Well, yeah, we're definitely looking at some Viking action. Like I said, we have a ticket count of 3-1 on that currently. The Colts also very popular this week at the windows. People are starting to realize Geno Smith is starting to turn into a turnover machine. So, when you have a 4-1 ticket count against the Las Vegas Raiders, and the money is 2-1 on the Colts. Definitely some Colt backers. The Eagle backers are there, but this is a tough game this week. The Broncos could definitely compete, and if the Eagles play offense the way they have in the first couple of weeks, definitely the Broncos have a massive chance. So I don't mind sitting with the Broncos. And naturally, like I said, the Lions ticket count is 10-1 on the Lions right now. That's where you're seeing all your parlays and teasers. Good to see Jaden Daniels get back, but we still have a high count on the Los Angeles Chargers, a 3-1 ticket count. And naturally, the Buffalo Bills have been a teaser machine. Not so much covering every week, but the teasers are there, and it kills us on both sides when those teasers come in with Buffalo, because they're usually a double-digit point spread. This week, division rival only 7.5, but it is still on Sunday night in Buffalo. Tough place for Drake May to succeed, but definitely he's showing positive signs. Patriots are 2-2. Like I felt, they are the second-best team in that division, and they are improving. So keep your eye on New England. They may be able to upset a few teams down the road if they stay healthy.
3 advance or go-home games in Major League Baseball today. I know you're glad that the Dodgers are taking a rest for a day or two. I mean, my goodness, they betting them like the game's over, and, well, they cashed easily as well. Betts is hot along with Ohtani right now, but these 3 today, who are they playing?
Yeah, definitely. These are some exciting games, I'll tell you right now. And Cleveland has been popular at the windows. We opened this game at 110. They are currently 125 at the Rampart and South Point. So very popular early action. And, in the market, they're going to be the ones that we have most of the parlays. Cubs -110. We're seeing some good two-way action with Darvish there. That's going to be a tough one, definitely. The Cubs, they showed signs in the first game, but then they could score a run in the second game, which is very, very disappointing when you're at home. San Diego started to get that momentum with the Machado homer, and, I hate to see that as a Dodger fan, but this is a tough game. Yankees 155. There's a lot of value on the Red Sox there, man. The Yankees look like their life is dead. When Austin Wells is bailing you out and Volpe has to make big plays in the infield, you're not really thriving. And, it's going to be very tough in how they think of that lineup if they're going to put Goldschmidt or Ben back in there or Wells. It's going to be difficult to manipulate that offense today. And we're going to see how Boone plays it out. I mean, at that first game, I don't understand what he was doing with the lineup with Rice out of the game as well. As a 30-30 potential threat. And, Jazz Chisholm could run the bases, and people have to realize this. And they were much better with those two guys in the lineup. So, I mean, Aaron Boone is an enigma. This guy is just like the LaFleur of baseball. You never know what he's going to do. And it's always a mistake, guys. So, I like he has not had a good run. Hey, but before we got to go. But you've been hot. You bet your NFL. Give us your best NFL pick of the week and break it down for us. Yeah, this is a tough week, but I'm going to take the Commanders. I think that definitely the return of Jaden Daniels should help them. I know Debo and McLaurin are a little banged up, but this is a totally different offense with Jaden Daniels back there. Chargers, they look very good. Don't get me wrong, Herbert, and that deep ball offense has looked really good early on. But I think this is definitely a key game for the Commanders and a major factor to stay close to the Eagles. God forbid the Eagles win this week and the Commanders lose. They're opening up an extensive lead. So if the Commanders want to return to the playoffs and the championship, this is a key game, guys, and take the 3 points before it gets under.
All right. Kaluch, follow Dwayne on Twitter at NYBookieDwayne, at NYBookieDwayne. Another good one. Baseball during the day and then football tonight. And for the rest of the weekend, you're busy at the Rampart in South Point. If you head to Las Vegas, make sure you go pay my man a visit over at the Rampart. Toward, it's Summerlin? Summerlin is where the swanky, Swanky Summerlin. Swanky Summerlin, we like to call it.
With the Wolves.
With the Coyotes. All right, Dwayne, we appreciate it. Love you, brother. Good luck to you this weekend.
Thank you so much, guys. Love you guys, too. Say hi to everybody in Baton Rouge.
All right. Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. And not just windows, but doors, siding, and shutters as well. Speaking of the siding, when it comes to ensuring the protection and lasting style of your home, there's no better option than high-quality siding provided by Relief Windows. Vinyl siding or Hardy Plank siding. Speaking of the Hardy Plank, proud to be a James Hardy preferred contractor, bringing the very best in siding directly to your home. Our fiber cement products can help give your home high-end curb appeal with low maintenance as well. So Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com, 288-8138.
Live at Sammy's on Highland, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Sammy's Grill on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Back here at Sammy's on Highland, live at lunch. Randy McKay will be with us at the top of the hour. Jimmy, I don't expect to spend any real time talking about these teams or these players. There's not a whole lot there, but it's a standalone game on Thursday night as far as college football, and we fish around sometimes for screwy lines. I don't expect you to know a whole lot about Sam Houston and New Mexico State, because I certainly don't.
Sam Houston's terrible on defense. I know that.
They're 0-4, and they have not come within 7 points of covering. Okay, forget about 7 points to win. They haven't come within 7 points of covering in any of their 4 games. Yet somehow they are a road favorite at New Mexico State tonight, who is certainly not good, but they're 2-2.
Who they beat?
They beat Tulsa. They beat Tulsa, who's not,
I understand.
And the other games against Bryant. But they beat Tulsa. They lost bad to Louisiana Tech, and they lost a rivalry game by 18 in New Mexico. They're by no means good, but compared to Sam Houston, and I just don't understand how the Bearcats are a favorite.
They're at home, obviously.
New Mexico State's at home.
What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're a road favorite that has not come within 7 points of covering in any game this year. That's what I'm kind of doing a double take.
Stinky.
I'm looking at injury reports. I don't see anything.
Stinky.
If Max were here today, he could look. Oh wait, Max is here today. Maybe he could look something up. I don't get this one. It's just kind of screwy.
You know that Diego's gone though from Las Cruces, right?
I do.
Okay.
And they're awful offensively, but the other guys are awfuler. Is that a word? Awfuler.
No.
Real bad. Okay. You knew what I meant, right?
Worse, Charlie.
Yeah. That's your Thursday night college game. We'll be watching the Rams and the Niners, but I just thought I'd throw that out there. Randy McKay, when we come back here at Sammy's on Highland, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Uh-oh, they let the big dog out.
Out of nowhere.
It's time for the big dog, Randy McKay, with his best picks.
Big dog, how you doing, man? 4-0 week last week. My man was on fire. Good job.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, and had a pretty good time. Yesterday was on with Jim Feist and company, so me and the Crackman and Jim Feist. So had a pretty good time. Still in Vegas. Gonna head back down to Laughlin area where I stay in Bullitt City tomorrow.
Now, It's not crack, man. Okay, it's Bill Krackenberger. Would you please not try? You're
Sometimes that's not the most flattering nickname, right?
You're not as seedy as you appear, like Randy. With that, I mean, come on, you're much more stand up than that. Bill Krackenberger, with his, I guess, one of the more noted sports and overall general gamblers, huh? Would you say?
Oh, definitely.
Kind of as a syndicate.
He's definitely out there. I mean, he's an easy guy to find and easy guy to spot, and he's real popular, and people love him.
There you go. So, any takeaways? Your biggest takeaways from last week? Boy, the injuries are piling up in the NFL, huh?
Yeah, just these injury reports. With these teams, even looking at the game tonight. I mean, man, is San Fran even fielding a team here? The way some of these rosters are looking, and really on the offensive and defensive lines too, they're really getting beat up. It makes me wonder if some of these new kind of rules that the NFL put in is real good for the players. It seems like it might be worse than what we think.
Yeah. So let's get to the games this week, and any survivor advice this week? Were you looking to pull maybe the trigger on the Rams tonight? Rams play the Saints in about a month or so in Los Angeles, so maybe a possibility there. So some Arizona if you have them left, but any in Green Bay if you don't want to use them this week. Green Bay's got what they got Carolina at home in a few weeks. That's the same week as the Saints go to Los Angeles. Any survivor advice before we get to your picks?
Yeah, Green Bay's on a bye. You can save them for next week in Cincinnati. But there's some other picks out there. It depends on who you got available. I mean, Buffalo, some people might still have them left. That could be an option. Even when you get a little creative, you got Indianapolis there against the Raiders. I mean, that could be a good one as well.
All right. Let's look first of all at the game in London. Let's go to it. That was one of your picks last week. You had the Pittsburgh Steelers against Man. Made it a little bit more exciting than it had to be last week, but Minnesota stays over in the pond. I think the last team to do this was maybe Carolina. Jacksonville. That won. Yeah, and they came back and won the very next game. So Minnesota, you're looking at maybe has an angle on this one, playing at home on Sunday morning.
What's the old saying, death taxes, and Mike Tomlin punting inside the 50-yard line? Is that what you're talking about there in that one? But
they had fourth and goal from like the 3, and they just ran it, and the next thing you know, they pop an 80-yard pass,
coverage,
an 80-yard pass, and then they get the ball back again, and they're a field goal away from tying that thing up when it was almost 17. I mean, with like 5 minutes to go, Charlie. 6?
Yeah, right about.
Yeah. So the Cleveland Browns go and they make it a quarterback change. They're going to go with the rookie Dylan Gabriel from Oregon and Oklahoma.
Yeah, and this was a scheduling spot we actually had in our previews that I mentioned that I liked before. So I'm going to stay with it, even though this Minnesota offensive line looks like it's going to be a little beat up here with even losing Brian O'Neill, right tackle. But scheduling spot, like you talked about, they stay in Ireland where this Cleveland organization's got to come over, and then we get Gabriel making his first start. Are we getting an improvement at quarterback? Or I think my guy Flacco, he's getting a little old in the tooth, but maybe it was time for a change here. But I see this Viking defense getting us the win in this game. Florida's and company's gonna have some pressure on this kid, and they'll probably get Van Ginkel back this week, so they'll be a little better there on defense. This will be Cleveland will find a way to Cleveland this game and get us the victory here. So I like the first half. Whatever you can find with 1.5, 2.5, or Minnesota -3, -120 is what I bet.
Yeah,
straight up,
a little
which
double
might
pick.
be tough to find.
little double pick with Minnesota in the first half, huh? Looking for the, extra, first start for a rookie, a little bit even tougher in the first half.
Yeah, I'm a little sleepy off the plane too. I think Cleveland will be. So I definitely see us getting the cover too in the first half.
Charlie, they're playing in Dublin again?
No, they're playing in London.
Okay. So they go going across it.
The new stadium.
That's a short.
The newest stadium, Tottenham.
There we go. All right, so we got that one. Let's look at a total in. They certainly went under on Monday night, the Broncos against Cincinnati. And, the Broncos, you're looking at the total again. But they kind of keeping it close to the vest for the, Bo Nix. And the 3-1 to the under so far, Denver is, you like Denver, Philadelphia under 44.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough here for points. This Philly offense really isn't clicking, and we got A.J. Brown, doing his crying act again. So we'll see how they do against this. They're playing against a Denver defense this week. They're not playing against, Tampa where they can maybe dominate a little bit. Both these teams like to run the ball better more than they do in pass and be some ball control. Should be some long drives here, and hopefully no special team shenanigans. So, Philly's weakness, I think, on defense is pretty easy to tell. Their D-backs aren't the best, at covering. So, but Bo Nix isn't really a downfield type passer that can exploit that as much as Mayfield and company did a little bit in that second half last week. So I see this being more of a game where there's long drives and hopefully field goals, and this game should stay under the total if it does.
All right, let's go down to the Superdome. Charlie, you looking for a source of optimism?
I don't know if optimistic means winning. I've been, kind of swayed over to tank mode, but I do think this is certainly their best opportunity on paper.
Well, this is your appetizer before our primetime meal again. We'll get the Giants again on Thursday night. We love the Giants and Jets on primetime. But, Big Dog, you think the Saints get their first win of the season? You like the money line with the Saints against the Giants coming in?
Yeah, I'm going with your guys' hometown team here. Another scheduling spot we kind of talked about, too, before the season started here, where we think we might get the Giants, and they come off this, kind of a phony win. If you look at the stats, how they, the Chargers have pretty much outgained them all over the field. And, we got a rookie quarterback a little banged up on his first start on the road. Doesn't have his key weapon there, Neighbors, is a big key here. And that'll help the Saints defense. Optimism for the Saints, sure. They've outperformed, even though they're 0-4. But as far as the market is, they have outperformed. They've been game out there, even though they haven't had a win yet. And Rattler hasn't looked that bad.
Randy, this game jumped to 0. The Saints went from a small underdog to a small favorite. When the game jumps to 0, put the antenna up at all for you, or is it just a regular old line move? Yeah,
a little bit when it jumps over. You got to keep an eye out on that. And that was a side that I liked. That doesn't affect my betting as much. If it does jump that, it's not going to keep me off it. That's why I recommend the money line here rather than laying the points here. It could be, two teams you don't know what you're going to get here, so it could be a low-scoring game, too.
All right, Randy, what's going on? The next game is Seattle going to Jacksonville and play. Jacksonville coming off of a big win on the road at San Francisco, but for the Seahawks, you laid 3 on this one. You're usually always on the best number. The Seahawks are catching 1.5 now. What I'm looking at, or did you write that wrong? You had Seattle +3.
No, I put down Seattle -3 versus Tampa at home. that what you guys
Oh,
got?
my bad. I'm going ahead of us. I'm going ahead of the schedule here. Seattle -3, 3.5 now against Tampa at home. My bad. I scrolled down too far.
Yeah, I think there's some 3 -20s out there, and that's kind of what I bet. I had kind of that same line, but if you want to lay the 3.5, I think it'll probably win as well. But I would get the best number here. Bad scheduling spot here for Tampa Bay for sure. I mean, they come off that game with Philly now. They got to go all the way across country. Their offensive line, even though they got worse back, still pretty banged up against a rested, Seattle team that played Thursday before. More rest here for Seattle. Plus, I've really liked what I've seen out of Darnold as quarterback. Transitioning over to Seattle, he's looked pretty well so far. So I think he's going to cause that Tampa Bay team that still has some injuries, some trouble here. So lay it with the Seahawks.
So what? So you like the start that Darnold's on? How much of it is that with that defense, it's okay to kind of eat the ball and punt, from time to time? That he's not maybe a veteran, realizes that he doesn't, for complimentary football, he doesn't have to make all the plays if they're not there. What specifically do you see in Darnold?
Yeah, I think these last couple years here, him being with Shanahan, and then with O'Connell, and now with Seattle, he's really matured as a player and gotten some confidence himself, and not trying to do everything like he was on some of these bad teams he was on before, like the Jets and Carolina. So, he's seen an improved player here, and they're using his strengths here. He's a really good quarterback off the rollout, especially to the left, which is, pretty strange for a right-handed throwing quarterback. When he rolls left, he throws a nice ball, as you've seen on some of the passes he made against Arizona. So I really like what he's seen, and it looks like him and that Jigba really are a good combination.
Yeah, Smith and Jigba, we like him, man. One of the best bowl games ever. That Rose Bowl win over Utah was really, really fun. And then Kansas City, here they go. They're starting their comeback. They take care of business the last 2 weeks after falling to 0-2 with wins against the Giants on prime time and against Baltimore. After falling behind 7-0, they just blitzed Baltimore in that one. Here's Jacksonville coming in. You say, okay, well, maybe Trevor Lawrence is starting to play. Charlie, he barely threw for 5 yards an attempt in the win at San Francisco on Sunday. And we know that San Francisco got banged up a lot in that one. Chiefs at home on Monday night against Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
To Jacksonville.
Is in Jacksonville? Jeez, I'm all over the place with the schedule.
Turn your pad upside down. Turn it right side up.
Sorry, Randy. Go ahead.
Yeah, the games in whatever they call it, Duval County or whatever that place is. So
Duval,
Everbank Stadium.
So no. Still looking at the Chiefs here. Minus. I laid the 3. There's still some -3, -20s out there. I don't trust this Jags in this improving defense yet, especially in prime time. Even though they've done a good job there so far, and also you got I think a coaching advantage here. You got this young Ian Cohn versus Andy Reid and company. So these two teams have played low-scoring games, but as far as the trust goes, just when we thought we were getting rid of Kansas City and this kind of thing, here comes the Chiefs again, and when Patrick Mahomes has some weapons, they look pretty strong. So I'm gonna stay with them and lay the rare road shot for me -3.
Yeah, it used to be to points on Monday night. You'd always take the dog. So here it is in review. Minnesota early in London. Minnesota -3 against Cleveland, and also the first half. Minnesota to get off out to a good start against the rookie in his first start, Dylan Gabriel, for the Cleveland Browns. Vikings -2.5 first half. Under Denver, Philadelphia under 44. Saints money line. Boy, you got onions. Seattle minus the points as well. There's some 3.5s out there, but if you can find 3 -20, get on that also. And in Kansas City, road chalk in Duval on Monday night. Anything that you and your crews on in college before we let you go?
Nothing right at this time. College has kind of been a wait and see and kind of hit the early market, or not hit so much the early markets, but waiting for the Saturday moves. It seems like some of the moves haven't been all that great in college, so kind of been going against some of the moves there.
Very good. Follow Randy on Twitter at RR39, and it's just a nickname. He doesn't hang out with the drug dealers, the crack man. Okay, so that's just a nickname. The pride of South Dakota, my buddy, Big Randy McKay. Randy, good luck to you, buddy, and I'll be in touch. I know we like to get any add-ons that you have on Sundays. Our audience really appreciates it. Thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, and good luck to everybody out there.
Yes, indeed. So Randy McKay, after a 4-0 week last week, back at it again this week. Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance. And Total Maintenance, I mean, it's still hot. It's getting cooler. It's getting cooler, Charlie. I told you it was getting cooler at some point.
You predicted fall once again. Congratulations.
Can I get a number on that?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. 480-1000, 480-1000. Lucas Ragusa has been doing this for so long. I mean, where they have just a 20-year reunion show of Katrina and the Saints coming back and all that.
Yeah.
I was in the Dome for the Falcons game with Lucas Ragusa. We were in the Dome a couple of years later for the Arizona playoff game and the NFC Championship game in Minnesota. Buddy of mine for way back, well, he allowed me to tag along with his tickets on that. I'll never forget it. 480-1000. But he's worked in every position, from all the way to the bottom to the top. He knows what it takes. He knows what each person is responsible for in their different role of an AC and heating company. So when he recruits teams to come on and just knows how to operate it, and they do a great job. You've heard the horror stories. Man, I called this place, but they didn't get to me in like 2 days and stuff like that. Not at Total Maintenance. Total Maintenance, service today, every day. You'll never sleep hot. You call today, you get service today. Same day service. Got offices and staffs in both Baton Rouge and New Orleans, but they're totally separate, not to compromise either. 480-1000, Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest, largest air conditioning and heating companies.
Live at Sammy's on Highland, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live from Sammy's Grill on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by the Morris Insurance Group. If you're looking for insurance on some of those harder to insure items, your big boy toys, your motorcycles, your boats, your trailers, your RVs, or if you've got a hunting camp, a fishing camp, you're down in a coastal area, you need flood insurance, please let the Morris Insurance Group help you to look again for the best rates and some of those hard-to-insure items that you can get from the Morris Insurance Group. Also for auto, homeowners, and commercial insurance. Learn more at morris-ig.com, where you can get a quote online, instant online quotes, morris-ig.com, or you can give them a call. 201-0007, 225-201-0007. Ask for my man Buzzy Hydell, and he'll help you out with the Morris Insurance Group. So Randy picked he picks the Saints. I think that the Saints have got an excellent chance to win this game against the Giants this weekend. Jackson Dart, his first road start. I did think that this story, and I don't know who asked the question, was a little bit ridiculous when they asked Jackson Dart if he had a chip on his shoulder because the Saints didn't take him. And he kind of played along. He's like, oh, yeah, you always have a chip on your shoulder. I didn't think he made a big deal out of it, but I thought the question was stupid because, first of all, it's not like the Saints were the only team that passed on Jackson Dart. I mean, he went, including the team that ended up taking him. The Giants, they had already another pick before that. So it's not like the Saints were
the only.
He go? He went 25th. Okay.
Okay, but how many? But there was some steam with the Saints.
He had a visit, but he had visits with other
Charlie,
teams
there's some
too.
people that were. Well, there's always misinformation that comes out for the draft, but there was because the Saints were in to be perceived as a team that was in the market for a quarterback.
They were.
So there's a lot of picks between 5 and 25. I mean, where did the Saints pick?
The Saints picked 9.
Between 9 and 25 that had their quarterbacks. I mean,
Sure.
we're just trying to be fair, but there was. We didn't think so, but there were some people that thought they were going to be. And look, to be taken first round. Dart was no gimme to go first round.
No, he wasn't. Was
he favored to go in the first round or not?
It was close.
It's close.
The Giants had to trade back into the first round to get him, so they made a move. But I didn't think that this was like a snub or anything. I mean, I understand these questions when quarterbacks go 1-2 in the draft and you end up playing the other team. It's like, well, man, do you have any? Did you want to go number 1? Well, of course I wanted to go number 1, but. I mean, to say the Saints snubbed him? No, the Saints needed an offensive lineman. They still need offensive linemen. And by the way, the kid Banks has played pretty well. But did I think this was a snub? No. Does he have an axe to grind with? I'm sure he met with other teams too, between 1 and 24 before he actually went at 25. So I thought the question was stupid. I thought his response was fine. He's like, well, yeah, you always got a chip on your shoulder. You always want to prove something, but I like it here. I thought he was fine. I thought the question was dumb.
What else are you going to ask? They're playing Saints.
How are you preparing for your first road start? How did you feel about
continue to lower your shoulder in the NFL?
Yeah, are you going to try to hurt yourself? What did you learn in your first start? I mean, I can do.
So where was it? 25.
25. Yeah.
His over under is 24.5.
Okay,
and you saw some 25.5s. So who did they trade up?
Houston.
Well, Houston wasn't going to take him.
No, they were not. In fact, it was probably there wasn't a team
who was 24.
24 was the Vikings, and
no, they weren't taking him.
No, the teams that might have taken a quarterback, the Steelers at 21. Okay,
yes.
that was one where he might have gone.
Here's your AI research team interest: Pittsburgh Steelers, New Orleans Saints, and Giants.
You need to. I mean, I could have done that one.
Right. So that's one of the three, and they're playing this week. So you think that's not completely. I've heard a lot worse.
I didn't think that the word snub.
Okay, but it was plus 300 to go in the top 10. So it was a long shot for him to go in the top 10.
I guess
could they have moved up ahead of the Giants and taken him?
I guess I objected to the word snub. I didn't look at it as
might be a little
snub.
strong.
I thought it was the Saints had a
New York media.
Okay, point taken. I thought that the Saints had a need and it was a greater value. Banks was going to go in the next handful of picks if they didn't take him there, and I thought, okay, this is the bigger deal. They don't feel like he's worth the 9th pick in the draft, and I don't know that anybody. Pittsburgh didn't feel like he was worth the 21st pick in the draft. The Saints, if you believe the rumors, actually tried to make a move to get back into the first round, and that would make sense with Mickey Loomis, captain trade-up, but they thought that the cost was too high.
This is ESPN, April 22nd. What day was the draft?
That right around that time, the
Steelers,
24th through the 26th.
Steelers and Saints are co-favorites at plus $2 to take Mississippi quarterback Jackson Dart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because after Cam Ward went, there was no.
It's just the wording that got you a little rankled.
I think you're trying to create a story if you talk about a guy getting snubbed and he doesn't go for another 16 picks. But let me ask you this: How would you feel about the Saints if they had taken Jackson Dart at 9?
That's too high.
Exactly. That's how I would have felt too.
But they could have moved down. They could have moved up. They could have. I mean, was there a chance he was going to be available early second round?
Well, when they took Banks, that was kind of what they were hoping for, or that if he got to the end of the first round, they could make a move back up because they had 41. To move from 41 to 25 would have probably cost them next year's one. Or at the very least, a basket full of
he was mentioned picks. A lot as a possible.
He was.
To go to.
So was Shadur Sanders, if you remember. Now, you want to talk about Shadur Sanders getting snubbed? Yes, he got snubbed by all 32 teams.
Right.
5 times, okay?
Right,
that's a snub.
Right.
This is not a snub. So, what kind of chance do you give the Saints on Sunday?
Well, I don't think it's. They're going to beat somebody with this guy at quarterback, right? I mean,
which they haven't yet.
I mean, were they more competitive than a lot of people thought against Buffalo? Absolutely.
3 games have been competitive.
Okay.
Out of the 4.
Well, I understand. One was with a backup quarterback.
Arizona's no great shakes. Yeah.
Arizona's about what they usually are, about 8 and 9. Is what they're going to be. I mean, it's the NFL, though. Can they win? I don't know, man. I'll be. I don't have a real opinion. So what I'll be doing on the game, as far as action, I'll be backing my guy, Randy McKay.
Yeah.
So I'll be pulling for the black and gold. But it's not, win-loss percentage. It's kind of it's a pet peeve of mine, a statistic for quarterbacks. But the guy's going to win one.
Right.
Okay?
No.
And
he hasn't thrown over 250 yards.
I have a lot of confidence that Spencer Rattler quarterback team is going to go ahead and win a game. I mean,
All right, and so
but you catch him neighbors against a rookie quarterback with him being that's a big loss. And even though Kansas City was going to say somebody else is going to beat us, they're still occupying a couple of guys. So he's still impacting the game, even though his stats weren't up there.
This was the soft spot in the schedule where we thought they might get a win. We didn't think that they were going to beat the Niners. We didn't realize those people were going to be out. We knew they were going to win either one of these road games. So this was Giants and Patriots at home and Bears on the road. We're talking about this back in August, okay? The Giants, we knew we were going to make a quarterback change at some point. We didn't know if it would be before now. The Patriots have played a lot better than I thought. Drake May is off to a really, really good start. I think their chances of winning that game aren't great.
They threw that game away against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and the Bears, I realize it's against Dallas and the Raiders, but the offense is showing some signs of life the last 2 weeks, and that game's on the road. I think that's
defense is not where it needs to be, though.
But of these 3 games where we thought they had a chance to get a win before the season, the Giants is the best one.
Without Malik Neighbors and Jackson Dart's second start, it's the most. They're not going to be a pick 'em or -2. They're -2 now.
1.5.
They're not going to be favored. Those other 2
that's
games.
all I'm saying. This is their best.
But Spencer Rattler against this defensive front.
No,
this is
it's a.
Do you want my strongest opinion?
Yeah.
Under all day. All day.
I think this is the Saints' best chance for a win. Do I think they're going to win? I think it's closer to a coin. I'm not taking them in Survivor, buddy. I'm not that confident in them, but I think they got a chance.
No, this is their best chance. This is it for being favored the rest of the year.
The Jets at home.
Yeah.
That was the only one before the season. Okay. So, but 2. That's the end of the.
So it'll be favored in 2 of the 17.
Yeah. Big week for our
Chicago's taking little steps on the right.
Yeah, the offense has woken up.
Dallas and the Raiders. He throws 3 interceptions.
They've got a little bit of life. Big week for our friends at Thibodeau Store and the Pierre Part Store because we got 2 more locations: the LaRose Store and the Lockport Store.
The L brothers, LaRose and Lockport,
opening up last Friday. They've had, as I understand it, a really good first week. And of course, if you're looking for the first, your outdoor cooking utensils and all of your grills and your griddles, all of your pots, man, get down to one of the locations in Pierre Part. It's on Highway 70 in Thibodeau. It's 900 St. Patrick Highway. You can always shop online. Same-day pickup and delivery for some of these items available at thethibodeaustore.com.
Yes, indeed. It's a must for outdoor cooking, tailgating, cooking on site, or in your outdoor grill. The Thibodeau Store, Pierre Part Store, now LaRose and Lockport stores.
Live at Sammy's on Highland, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live from Sammy's Grill on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Matt Humans of Easton joins us right now. Matt, how you doing, buddy? Okay, we'll get Matt on in just a little bit. We're going to be rushed with him, so don't forget tomorrow we're live at Ruffino's on Highland Road. We start at 10 a.m. So just even on a bye week, we do start at 10 a.m. So yeah. Dixon, a lot of film study. Talk. That'll be good.
Yeah, we went through it pretty good. We got a lot on both sides of the ball, and the end zone views, when you look at it, you can really see some things that it's difficult to see on some of the things you get confirmed and some of the things you don't.
All right, Matty, I'm sorry about getting you on a little bit late. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. I got about 10 minutes here. I got another show to do after this. I'm serious. I thought these spots were going to be on the 30, and you just called me at 39, man. Come on.
We apologize. So it is our fault. And so right. What's your best pro pick and why?
Let's see. I'm going to go with Broncos +4 at Philadelphia. And the Eagles got some issues on offense. 200 total yards versus Tampa Bay last week. They were outgained by 176. And after the half, 11 total yards, 0 for 8 passing. And they've been outgained in all 4 games and also outgained in yards per play in all 4 games. And eventually that's going to catch up to you in the NFL. And again, this is Denver defense that allowed 159 total yards to the Bengals on Monday night. Now, I understand the Bengals have a far worse offensive line, and that was like a jailbreak every time Cincinnati snapped the ball. It's different against Philadelphia, but something's not right with this Philadelphia passing attack, and I've been high on the Broncos anyway from the preseason. Bo Nix finally clicked a little bit Monday night, passed for 326. I'm going to go with the Broncos as dogs to beat this Philadelphia team that's a phony 4-0 right now.
All right, college, who you on this week?
I got this is home dog week for me in college football. I'm going to go Florida Gators and Billy Napier +7. Dallas Wilson's back in that offense, that 6'3" freshman receiver who's been out. He had 10 catches for 195 yards and 2 touchdowns in the spring game. Previous to that, the Gators had 11 points per game in their losses against South Florida, LSU, and Miami. I think this offense is going to pick it up a little bit here against Texas, and I was wrong about Arch Manning in the preseason. He stinks right now. I don't think he got it right just by beating San Jose, UTEP, and Sam Houston. It's going to be a tough test on the road for him in the swamp. So I'm going to take Florida +7. I'm also taking Purdue +10 against Illinois. I think that number dropped to 9.5 in most spots in the market, but it might come back. Again, this is a really difficult sandwich spot for the Illini. Off the USC win and with Ohio State on deck, Barry Odom had a bye to prepare for this game. And a year ago, a really poorly coached Purdue team was a 22-point dog at Champaign, and Illinois needed a miracle to win that game 50-49 in overtime. There are a lot of signs here pointing to Purdue as a double-digit home dog. Also, let's see, I'm going to go. I got 5 home dogs here. This is a bit risky, but I'm taking Florida State +4.5 against Miami. And I still think when you look at the Seminoles win against Alabama in that season opener, that was legit. I know this team lost to Virginia a week ago, but that might make Florida State a little bit better bet here at home off the loss against Miami team that's probably feeling invincible at the moment. And you got the coaching edge with Florida State, too. I just don't believe in Mario Cristobal. But Florida State +4.5. Maybe Miami's legit. Maybe the Hurricanes blow them out, and that's the risk you take with a play like that. Also taking Bill Belichick. He's got extra time to prep for this game. If Belichick's got anything left, he's going to have to show it here. He's being embarrassed. He's tainting his legacy, and everything that's going on around the North Carolina program right now looks like a mess. And, of course, we could say a lot of the same things about Clemson. I don't know if Clemson deserves to be a 14.5-point favorite rolling into Chapel Hill. But I'm going to give Belichick one shot here as a big dog, see if he and Max Johnson can step up and might be able to pull off the upset. But I got 2 touchdowns to work with. I think Belichick might have something up his sleeve this week. Late game Saturday night, Cal +3 against Duke. Again, tough trip for the Blue Devils. This Cal team's interesting with Jerron Piave-Sagatelli, the freshman quarterback. They allowed 48 straight points, a 34-0 loss at San Diego State. And then they fell behind 14-0 at BC and stormed back to win that game against Bill O'Brien. I think this Cal team's legit. I like the coaching staff here a lot. With Justin Wilcox, Nick Rolovich, and Brian Harsin. And I want to give Cal one more shot as a home dog here in Berkeley. They came through for me a few weeks ago against Minnesota in a similar spot. The odd thing here is you just don't know which Darian Minson, which Duke team is going to show up, but I'm going to put my trust in Cal here. So I got 5 home dogs right there.
Yeah, I'm on all of them, Matty, except for I'm on Clemson against North Carolina. So unless they went and found some more players during the bye week, I think Clemson ready to take some frustration. Nobody's more frustrated in their season right now than Clemson, but it's not one of my favorites. Yeah, you mentioned Illinois. Don't forget that. I mean, emotional roller coaster taking that whooping by Indiana the week before and then bounce back. I mean, they are drained. They are drained, and with Ohio State the next time. Barry Odom tried to tell us that your alma mater was a little bit better than we thought. So, third-year quarterback, he inherited the quarterback, and just want him to clean up his interceptions a little bit. 6 TDs to 5 interceptions, but and coming off a bye week as well. So, yeah, I'm looking for real flat Illinois. In that one. And how about Florida? Florida and LSU. I told you that LSU is going to be much better defensively. I didn't know there'd be a massive under team the way this thing. Yeah. Florida and LSU are under team. I mean, they're not even coming close to these totals.
You're right about that. You were right about the LSU Clemson total in the first week. And aside from that cupcake opponent the Tigers played in their 4th game, the offense has been a big disappointment. I think aside from that, the LSU offense probably averaged, 20 points a game if you throw out the game. The
Southeastern game, yeah.
Yeah, if you throw that one out, the offense is right around 20 points per game. And Garrett Nussmeier certainly not putting up any sort of numbers that would reflect that he was a Heisman candidate or a top 5 draft pick before the season. So that was interesting. I was on Ole Miss in that game last week, and I'll just continue to be surprised the LSU offense doesn't have more. I know Brian Kelly hates those questions. He gets cranky sometimes, but
you know what's funny about that remark when you're talking about it was a WBRZ, the ABC affiliate, and he's been around for 30 years or so, Michael Cobble. But they have this all-access thing that they're doing, and in the locker room before he met with the media, he was down saying, with our offense, struggling, right? He was talking to his team about the offense struggling before he steps in and blows a gasket. So it was a little bit staged kind of deal. And so, but the offensive line and the offense has been getting a little bit of conversation in Baton Rouge, just a tad. Yeah.
Oh, I bet it's been getting a lot of conversation. I've got a friend, an old gambler who lives in Louisiana, and for 2 years he's been telling me, Brian Kelly's going to get fired. This guy's done. He's not going to make it. He didn't like Kelly, and he couldn't wait to repeat that after the loss last week to Ole Miss. But I've always kind of been a Brian Kelly fan in terms of how he coaches quarterbacks and develops offenses, but it has not happened with this LSU team so far. It's pretty obvious that's the case. You know what's interesting? I certainly understand you laying the points with Clemson against North Carolina. And of all the plays I mentioned, I'm probably, the most, anxious about Florida State and North Carolina. We used to talk all the time about you give Bill Belichick extra time to prepare, and he's almost unbeatable, right? He's off a bye week. He's off a butt whipping before the bye. He's had 2 weeks to prep for this Clemson game. If he's got nothing here, you might as well just call it quits. I don't think that this experiment with Belichick in North Carolina is going to work anyway. I've said for the whole time he's going to be there for 1 year, and then it's 50-50 whether he makes it 2, and he's not going to make it more than 2. All this talk about being the 33rd NFL team is a bunch of BS. I don't think you're going to be able to attract the type of talent that he's going to need. When he was at New England the last 2 years, he did not have superior talent, and guess what? He didn't win. He was 4-13 in the final season. So I want to see what Belichick's got here with bye week to prepare his defense. For a Clemson offense, it's also been disappointing. I think it's one of the more fascinating games this week. But, yeah, I can understand anybody who wants to lay the points against Clemson because North Carolina has looked like a dumpster fire.
I don't, me and Paul Stone did this podcast, and Paul had Wake Forest as his bottom. It doesn't by conference the weakest team in the ACC. As there's no way, there's no way Wake Forest is weaker than North Carolina. There's no way. He's adjusted. Since Matty. Sorry about getting you on late, man. Good luck to you, brother, and don't forget Veason Friday night. His handicapping show is outstanding. The college football or the football handicapping show live from Circa. Good luck to you, Matt.
You too. Thanks, you bet.
All right. Well, here starring and nice crowd over here for Matt Moscona was over here. You can come and eat with the stars over at Sammy's Grill.
He had a few autograph sessions. Live at Sammy's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny. Live from Sammy's Grill on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, about an hour before the first baseball game. Got 3 game threes today. Any strong opinions about it?
Under in the Cleveland-Detroit game again. I mean, it took a 5-run 8th for them to, including a 2-out, 3-run homer, to fall in the number yesterday. So it was a dead under, and everybody's on deck. Flaherty, who has been struggling a little bit, would have. They're going to have a quick hook ready for him if he continues to struggle here. But Cleveland in the under in the first one. I'm stuck on the 2. I kind of like the Cubs a little bit. Darvish has been pitching better as of late, but, man, he can give up some bombs. And wind blowing in about 10 miles an hour, those have been 2 unders as well. But I like the Cubs a little bit. Tyon has been really good as of late. And the Yankees. The Yankees should take care of business tonight over the Boston Red Sox. So, this is where they missed Giolito. Giolito would have gotten that start. Bayo had been struggling. He gave it the 2-run homer, got a little bit out of him. But, man, it's a lot of stress on their bullpen. Their bullpen is better than the Yankees, but I think the Yankee starter, how do you pronounce his name, Charlie?
Schlittler? Gotta be careful there.
That's why I'm having a little fun.
Gotta be a little careful
Schlittler.
there.
Yes, Charlie.
All
yes.
right. Give me New Mexico State tonight. I'm sorry. Sam Houston hasn't come within a touchdown of covering, much less winning, and they are a road favorite tonight in Las Cruces.
Schlittler.
Maybe I'm a sucker, but give me the Aggies tonight.
You're full of shit.
Plus 1.5. Rams and Niners, I'm just going to watch. How's that?
Tomorrow at 10 a.m., really looking forward to listening to Dixon. Man, he does a great job with the film study of what happened in the Ole Miss game.
All right, we'll do that tomorrow. Lock of the Week Friday at Ruffino's tomorrow. For Jimmy Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.